viewers, welcome to today's episode on Just Perspective, brought to you by SkadekTV. We have today with us Prince Dr. Skadek Empire, founder and CEO of African Diaspora for Justice.
Thank you once again for having me on this episode of Just Perspective. As we can see, I am very excited to be here, most especially about the whole thing that is happening with the AFCON 2023 African Cup of Nations. Even though it's played in 2024, we all know why. However, I would like to admit and let you know that every individual country that participated played their out, and it was such a phenomenal game. I am super excited to delve into this more and talk about all the game in highlight so that we can follow and see where we are and where we are going.
I just want to say keep watching SkadekTV because it's the bomb.
As most of us glued to our TV watching the AFCON 2023, the round 16 was something that was unbelievable. The resilience and the tenacity of individual country that participated was exceptional. This is one thing that you don't see in other continents' cup, such as the European Cup. You can easily predict who is going to win when two teams meet. The same thing with the South American Cup. You can always tell that Brazilian is definitely going to beat Argentina or vice versa. That's the game. But in the African Cup of Nations, it's a nation where everything goes and anything goes. You cannot predict who is an underdog and who is this anymore, because the game is becoming so competitive with that African zeal and resilience to win. And I just love that. If that kind of tenacity can be brought into our political system, the tenacity in our soccer game, in every other sports, and the tenacity in our entertainment industry, if we could emulate that and import that into the politics of Africa, I think Africa will be a better continent at this time. I was very shocked and surprised when I see the defeat of Namibia by Angola. Angola slaughtered Namibia 3-0. And the honest truth is that Namibia did exceptionally well in the qualifying series.
Yo, SkadekTV, this is my family, my sim. Make sure you watch this wherever you are in the world. This is
Nigeria-Cameroon game was another game that was so exciting and tense. Nigeria being giant of Africa and Cameroon being a soccer nation, it was a very tough match. And sincerely, Nigeria was able to cruise into the win, beating Cameroon 2-0. Then we went further to witness the game between Equatorial Guinea and Guinea. So Equatorial Guinea is a country that I was rooting for, but for some reason, the Guinea emerged winner of that tournament as well. To me, that was a big upset. From that again, we went to another interesting game between the Pharaoh of Egypt against Democratic Republic of Congo. It was a very tense game. It's a 1-1 draw game, and the overtime or the penalty was a determining factor. And eventually, the Democratic Republic of Congo came out the winner of that tournament. Very interesting. You know, the beautiful country of Cape Verde happens to defeat Mauritania. You know, Mauritania, known for a better, football, so-called soccer playing nation, was able to fall flat to Cape Verde, a little island, a very small island, but powerful when it comes to football or soccer. After that, we witnessed the game between Senegal and the host nation of Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. And despite all the disaster that happened to them in previous match, they were able to dust themselves up and wake up from that slumber and play a very tight game with Senegal being the defending nation. And the game ended up 1-1, but eventually penalty kick out, and Ivory Coast took the lead and take advantage of that to qualify. So now we went further again to watch the game between Mali and Burkina Faso. Mali and Burkina Faso was another interesting game. How Burkina Faso fall to Mali still surprised me. But hey, it's soccer. competitive, tenacity, and action. And that's what played out in that game. And finally, watching the game between Morocco, a soccer nation, and South Africa was so thrilling. That is, South Africans in their zebra zinc was able to hold down Morocco to a 2-0 winning game. And that was super exciting to me. I just love the performance, the offsets, and the competitiveness of all these nations. And that's so beautiful. That now launch us into the quarterfinals.
Keep watching SkadekTV. Don't touch it. That's all.
The quarterfinal, as we know it, started with Nigeria against Angola. I can tell you, haven't watched the game was so tensed that Nigeria emerged the winner of that tournament by 1-0. Even though there are many things that happen, if you had looked at it from different perspective, Nigeria had opportunity of winning that tournament by 3-0. But for some reason, and disallowed goals and offsides and all that shenanigans, all that stuff that happens on the field, well, it's still recorded 1 win for Nigeria over Angola. But it was a very tense match, and all the players that participated in that particular game was fierce. And you know, I can't just believe what these guys are set out to do. It's a very well-determined game played by both nations. I can remember Zedu of Nigeria, Osimhen, Lukman, and Onyeka. You know, all these guys played their heart out and they did what they had to do. On the other hand, too, you can forget about Gelson. That guy is brutal. Gelson from Angola. That guy was a brutal player. Zane was also an excellent player. Freddie and Kulandra, and also Show, Eddie. All these guys played their heart out, but for some reason they fall short, and Nigeria took the victory in that tournament of this afternoon. That brings us to the conclusion of today's just perspective of the highlight of the game so far. And thank you again for having me, and I look forward to joining you guys again in the next episode. It was a great one. Thank you to Skadek Television for bringing this to us.
Keep watching Skadek Media. Yes.
Crown Prince Adekoya ló ní kí n máa sọ wípé